Well, guys, it's Dave again back here at Dave's Dimension doing another video for you guys. It's been maybe a couple weeks since I've uploaded a new video. Um, well, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I've been talking about I had surgery to help improve my health. So I've been kind of focusing on my health and just went back to work today. So, well, not today, but this past week. So I figured, hey, I haven't done a video for a while, so I'm going to do a couple series of videos today. First one is an unboxing. This is not going to be a earth-shattering unboxing for you guys today, okay? What we're going to do is, I finally got my hands on the Red Ranger Hasbro Lightning Collection. So we're going to unbox him. Already, before even opening up the box, a few things that I noticed right here. If you notice, there's some discolorations. I mean, if you really look close, the torso's darker than the legs. I'm not overly stressed at that. I mean, it is what it is. There's been a lot of talk of QC. And for those, the uninitiated, don't know what QC stands for, quality control. There's been a lot of inconsistencies with some of the different colors. I mean, I've been happy. I have the White Ranger, Shadow Ranger from SPD, Lightning Collection figure. Zed is probably my favorite figure that they've come out with yet. The original Zed. I do have the Walgreens Black Ranger. I'm not a big fan of him. There's a reason why he was the Walgreens exclusive, let's just say. So, I ordered this from Amazon. Yeah, the box is a bit beat up. It does have the original factory tape on here, so we know it has not been opened before. But, I mean, the box is just, it's beat up. I mean, I got them for about $18.99 on Amazon, which isn't that bad, guys. So, you know, it is what it is. And plus, I'm not saving the box. I'm not going to be, like, reselling these on eBay for, you know, a third or two of the markup. I'm not doing that. You know, when I get something, I like to open it up and display it, guys. You can see it right there. I got my Legacy Dagger. Once again, if you've seen my videos before, you've heard me do a review of the Hasbro Lightning Morpher. I'm pleased with it. For the price, you can't go wrong. I'm not going for the Legacy or the Lightning Dragon Dagger. I will not be going for that. To me, the look and from what I've heard from some people, it's just not something that I'm going to be motivated to get, because I think it's a downgrade from the Lightning. I really do, guys. So, here we are. Got my trusty handy dandy bat blade. We do have Batman Day coming up, so of course I'm going to be using Bat Blade. So let's open it up. Now, as always, I like that Hasbro does decent art, pretty good art, consistent for all their figures. My only thing is, I wouldn't mind having a little read up on here. I mean, this is the Jason Red Ranger. And what you get with it, you get a nice good ooh, something just pop out of here. You get two hands for the poses, of course. You get his power sword. Little power effect. My only thing about the power effects are they seem to be kind of generic as far as the coloring, guys. I would like to see maybe a red energy for the Red Ranger. I mean, let's face it. That's what we see. That's what we expect to see from these. But we're not getting that. I mean, even on Zed, I mean, he has a proper energy field on there, if you will. What I do like about this one is you not only do you get the power blaster. I mean, it's something that you can remove from the holster. There have been figures before where you can't move it. I believe that was on the Bandai, so we'll see what happens. And as far as the head sculpt, I mean, the head sculpt is pretty Johnny on the spot. It's pretty good. Would have liked to have seen maybe a happier Jason. Let's see if we can get that to focus a little bit. I'm sorry. Still doing this on my iPhone, so. But I mean, the head sculpt itself, I mean, it could be. I mean, it's that stern look. It's got his constipated face, guys. Okay. Um, I may not even put his head on here. I might just keep the good old Red Ranger helmet on here. I like the look of that. Couple things I'm noticing here. If you have a Hasbro Lightning figure, you will notice some of the obvious. I mean, just like I said in the package, the torso looks a little bit darker. I mean, from a distance, you're not really going to notice it. It's not that noticeable. The helmet itself, I really like the sculpt on the helmet. I mean, you can see the Tyrannosaurus lines, grooves on here very nicely. I mean, I like the detail on here. I mean, you can see the teeth are clearly the teeth on here, instead of just like a quick kind of a outline like we've seen on other Rangers before. Another thing I'm not overly a fan of is some of the parts here, like the whites on here. For Jason, it works well. I've seen it on other figures where it just looks too much like it stands out. You guys know what I'm talking about. I really like the paints on the Morpher. I mean, I'm sorry that this is not focusing automatically. I'm still working out a few technical things. I'm starting to use OBS for my videos now. I know nothing about OBS. I'm still learning. But on here, I mean, you can see. I mean, you can see where the holder that the Morpher goes into. There's nice detail on there. You can see an actual shape of the Tyrannosaurus power coin on there. The red ring that appears on the Morpher. It looks really good. The back looks really good. Now, of course, if you've seen this video or you've seen other videos, you know, the full range of motion you get on here. The leg can fully rotate. You know. I mean, Jason's not the greatest dancer, guys. Let's be honest. But I like the detail on here. The paint on the boots, it's pretty good for the most part. I mean, it's this one's pretty good, but I've seen a few where it just looks a little off. We got a little chunk of plastic on the back of his boot right at the top there, but who's going to be looking at that? Okay. Arms feel kind of stiff in the shoulder joints. They feel a little stiff. But I mean, you know, you start moving it around, he's going to loosen up, guys. You got to go with the Red Ranger. If you guys have seen my videos before, you know my favorite Ranger isn't necessarily the Red Ranger. I'm a Tommy Oliver fan all the way back. Jason David Frank has always killed it as being whatever Ranger he's going to be, or even just as himself. Okay? In my personal opinion, JDF is always going to be the Chuck Norris of the franchise. But you can't not give honorable mention to Austin St. John, who was our first Red Ranger. I mean, he's the one that led the team. If it wasn't for, I mean, yeah, maybe he wasn't exactly an actor when he started out, but that's not what they were looking for. They're looking for martial arts, people who can do those moves. And he proved that. I mean, if it wasn't for Austin St. John, we wouldn't have gotten far enough where we would get Jason David Frank and all the other Rangers, all the other actors who came through. So, I mean, this whole legacy of Power Rangers, we do owe to Austin St. John, Walter Jones, David Yost. I mean, all the originals. The original 5, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having them. Okay? So, now, some of you might wonder, well, you know, what do you use for stands? I actually have been using the NECA stands here for the Power Ranger Lightning Collection. I live in an apartment complex, unfortunately. Don't have a house just yet. So, you know, I got people upstairs, I got people downstairs. So there's a lot of vibrations, people moving around. So, for mine, I use the NECA, that's N-E-C-A, if you're not familiar with it. They're a line of, basically they make collector and figurines, but they also make their own batch of stands. I mean, these are what you would see on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. This is what you would use for theirs, and they do fit. They fit well on the Lightning Rangers. They don't fit perfectly flush unless you really push on it. You'll see what I mean in just a second. The peg does kind of fit and hold, but it doesn't. There we go. I mean, you can see a little bit of space, but they stand perfectly nice and level. Okay? Also, I like this because then you could put a weapon down, you can put their head down on display. A lot of times I'll take the helmets, and as the figure is standing, I'll have the helmet down so it sits as a nice display in front of the Ranger. And those of you out there who are big Power Ranger fans, something new. Maybe it's new, maybe it's not. There is, I can't think of the person's name right now. If I can pull up the link again, I will. Someone on Etsy is starting to make 3D storage or 3D display cases, I guess you could say. If you're a fan of Power Rangers, remember when they went from Mighty Morphin to Zeo, and they had those display cases in the new power chamber that showed off the original Power Rangers and their weapons in the main in the main back of the power chamber. There's someone on Etsy who's actually 3D printing those. He's taking orders now. If you're a big fan and you have the room to display those, I think it'd be pretty awesome. And he does make them for the Lightning size. So you guys might want to look into that. Some things, they're a little... I get that they did like the zipper line on the back. But there's also like a little line going on the front of the neck here. Don't know if you guys can make that out. I'm not too crazy about that. But, hey, it is what it is. And after all, just like, you know, some people tell you, hey, do this or do that with your collection. They're your figures. You do what you want. So. And the Jason head is, he's pretty good here. Looks pretty well. Like I said, I was thinking of not having his head on there and just having the Ranger helmet on top. I mean, the head sculpt's pretty good. I mean, it looks like they did more detail on his hair than on some of his face. I'm not a super big fan of that, but hey, for the price that I got this for, I'm not necessarily going to be complaining. Now, we're going to take a look at some of his weapons, okay, guys? And by the way, I did mention he does get 2 hands, 2 fists. Now, I don't know what you guys do. I have a little storage, like a clear kind of cheap little Joanne Fabrics type storage case that I put all the Lightning figures into. I put a little Ziploc bag, and then I put it in this little plastic storage container. So if I ever want to take a hand from one character and put it onto a different one, or some of the power effects, I might throw them in there. That's just something that I do, guys, because it's easy to misplace or in some cases break some of these things. So here's a sword, and right out of the package, the sword is nice and level. It's not bendy. It doesn't feel too bendy. I mean, it is plastic. There's a little give, but I love the detail on here. I mean, they definitely did a fantastic job on here. Now, I have seen some videos where some people mention about color on the stitching. I don't have any color paint on the stitching there, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, if you wanted to, you could take like a little red Sharpie and just do like little faint rubbing on it. That's a thing you could do. Now the blade I can't talk straight, guys, today. Blade blaster is pretty good. It's just red plastic with an application of some white paint on the front part where the barrel is. That's all there is. A little dash of a little rubbing of some maybe dry brushing of silver argent models paint. Just some dry brush. If you're not familiar with dry brushing, Google it. Do a search on YouTube. Dry brushing is just basically where you take some paint, you rub it on an old cloth or paper towels. Okay, you rub some off of your brush, just almost to the point where your brush is dry. That's ergo dry brushing. And you just faintly go over your surfaces. It's commonly used for weathering and prop making. You guys have seen that I have a lot of Ghostbuster stuff. My Flux Pack and the new addition back there is the real Ghostbusters Spirit Proton Pack that I made up. Of course, I have my pack. My pack is actually in its storage case right now. But you just, like on, for example, let's say I wanted to dry brush parts of this handle, or better yet, here's a part of a ghost trap I have, okay? So what I would do is I would take a brush, like so. Now this is no paint's been applied to this, but basically I would take like say you have a rag, a hanky, I take some paint, rub it a couple times, a little bit, where it's not, where you don't see paint dripping off of it or cooped on. You kind of thin it out, right? And then what you would do is you might just go across the edges a little bit, or just slightly over a fake screw. You just lightly brush against it. Not really applying it. You're not hitting it against the item, guys. You're just like going nice little light brushes, light little passes where it's just barely touching it, and you're getting your dry brush. Now, if you want it to fade, you might take that paper towel, maybe rub a little bit against it, and give it that scraping kind of a look. That's something that you could do if you want. I'm not doing that. I'm going to keep this as is, as stock. Sorry about that. So, Blade Blaster fits in there pretty nice. It's obviously different. It's a lighter plastic than Jason, but that's perfectly fine. I gotta say this, Hasbro's version of the sword looks pretty damn good. Now, one thing I would have loved, and I know it's not going to happen, that if they made it so that once we had each of the original Power Rangers, if we could throw their weapons together, that would be awesome. But as far as I know, that's not something in the cards. And they probably would have charged a little bit more if there was that kind of a capability. So, but overall, Jason Red Ranger, I'm very happy with them. Again, if you've had one of these before, you know that you kind of have to thread the blade through the energy, which some of these figures is not as easy as advertised. I mean, I like it. I would have liked the Ranger colors. I mean, red for red, blue for blue, green for green. God, I wish. I missed out on the Green Ranger putty combination out there, which is killing me because I'm such a big Green Ranger fan. As you can see, I have the Legacy Dragon Dagger. I have the Legacy Morphers. Both the Green Ranger, White Ranger one, and the Mighty Morphin one. I would kill for a Lightning Green Ranger because I think it looks pretty badass. That's just me. Hopefully, somewhere down the line, I'll come across one in a GameStop or ThinkGeek. I'm trying not to pay exuberant prices that they charge on eBay, but I may have to go that route because I'm such a big Green Ranger fan. So we'll see what happens. So, of course, with the figures, sometimes with the hands, you got to be a little careful. You kind of have to play around with them just to get the weapons into their hands, guys. So, I got that in there. When I pose them on my display, I'll probably maybe have them facing Zed. You know, I think that would be pretty cool. I do have a Bandai Psycho Red, Psycho Blue. Um, as far as the next wave of Ranger figures, I'm not really psyched. Um, I know a few people who have gotten some already pre-ordering some of the figures. I mean, some of them look good, but some of the paint applications don't look that fantastic. Again, this is not my original thought. These are thoughts from other people, and I agree with them wholeheartedly. Um, it seems like Hasbro's been really great at the monsters and the creatures. Perfect example, the Ghostbusters Plasma series. They knocked it out of the park with Gozer. And even the Build-A-Figure, um, you know, Terror Dog was fantastic. Utterly fantastic. Some of the guys' faces, I mean, they look pretty good. I mean, they're pretty comparable to maybe a step. Obviously, there are step ups. Egon's is amazing, but like Bill Murray's Peter Venkman, he's got, I don't know, I look at him and I'm thinking like, yeah, that's Bill Murray. It's Peter Venkman, but it also kind of reminds me of Robin Williams from the 80s. So, I mean, some of the face, it's something. I mean, I know that's a new license, and so is Power Rangers for Hasbro. We'll see what happens. We can only hope that their quality control gets better over time. But for the most part, uh, red, the red light, Lightning Collection Red Ranger is pretty good. If you haven't gotten him, get him right now. Today's date is the September 19th of 2020. All week long for the past, or no, hell, for the past month or two, Amazon's been having him for $19.99. If you're a Prime member, free shipping. It's a no-brainer. I got him a couple weeks ago. Actually, I got him before I went for surgery, and I was focusing on my health, so that's why I didn't get to do an unboxing till now. And I'm sure you guys have seen these out in the wild. You've seen them yourself, but I wanted to give you my own little critique of it. It's if you're not getting the whole collection of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers via the Lightning series, you definitely want to get Jason. I mean, the Red Ranger is the classic. He's the leader. Okay, he's always going to be the leader. The original leader of the Power Rangers is always the Red Ranger who leads, with the exception of Alien Rangers, and of course when Tommy became the White Ranger. But for the most part, you always got to go for the Red Ranger. I heard he was making an appearance in Beast Morphers. That'll be interesting to see when it comes out. I would like to see Austin St. John do more with the Power Rangers franchise. I mean, we've had some great team ups over the years. I mean, Forever Red, and of course, we had Megaforce, but he wasn't there. They had a few people. There was representations, but I mean, he's a big part of the franchise. I would like to see him do more stuff. I mean, of course, everyone looks at Tommy because Jason David Frank has come back so many times, and he's all about that. Now, those that don't know, Austin St. John, after he left Rangers, I believe he was an EMT, paramedics. He even did a lot of I don't know if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I apologize if I am. I believe he did some fire departments, some firefighting. I know that he's done stuff all across the world, especially over in the Middle East. I mean, I've seen his videos. I've never met him personally. I've never seen him personally. But from what I hear, he's a pretty solid guy. I have had a loose interaction with, online that is, through Jason David Frank's social media. I was even sent an autographed photo of his, which is one of my prized possessions. But as far as Lightning Collection, what do you guys want to see next? I know we keep getting reiterations of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We're starting to get a few more of the SPD. I wouldn't mind seeing Mystic Force come out soon. Operation Overdrive, I was never a huge fan of. To me, Lightspeed, Time Force, I got Time Force Red West. I have him. what would you guys like to see? I mean, Mystic Force, I liked the concept. I liked that series. I like Korag, who was really Bowen. I mean, I would love to see some of those creatures come out, some of those Rangers come out. I would love to see more monsters come out. I mean, what about Scorpina, guys? I mean, we're already getting a second Goldar. How about we get a Scorpina? Uh, Scorpina in her humanoid type form, or even in her monster form, guys. It would be awesome. You know, Hasbro Pulse. Maybe you want to do a nice little survey for us to vote on that. You know, and also this past week we got some news, guys. The Hasbro Pulse Con, which was announced a couple weeks ago, it's happening next weekend. That's the 25th of September, which is Friday, and the 26th, which is a Saturday. Okay? I implore anyone that watches this video, if you see this video before that date, make sure you set some time aside and stream, go on Facebook, go on YouTube, hit all the links that you can, maybe on their main website, stream it, because Hasbro Pulse is doing something very cool. They're going to have a lot of celebrities, a lot of people in the game, so to speak, make appearances. For Ghostbusters, they're going to have, I don't know if they're going to have any Ranger personalities, but for Ghostbusters, they're going to have Jason Reitman, he's the director of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and the son of Ivan Reitman, who is the director of the original first two Ghostbuster movies. They're also going to have Ernie Hudson, one of my favorite Ghostbusters. Ernie Hudson, Winston Zeddemore is going to be there. So there's going to be some very exciting news throughout it, but they're also going to have some music. I got an email yesterday of Fallout Boy and Tenacious D, and also an artist or group known as Lights. I'm not familiar with them, so I don't know a whole bunch. But outside of all that noise, all that excitement that's going to go on, for every person who's streaming, every person who is viewing, logging on to Facebook or YouTube or whatever platforms they're going to be streaming through, for every one person that they're streaming, they're going to be donating a toy for Toys for Tots. Okay, with everything going on this year, with 2020, I'm not going to use those words, YouTube. Not going to use those words, but with everything going on with 2020, that is a charity that really can use a lot of help. And I mean, you're just tuning it in on your smartphone, on your tablet, your laptop, maybe even your smart TV, guys. Just stream it. Maybe, if you're not going to pay attention to it fully, have it in the background. At least get that streaming going on so we can get as many donations to Toys for Tots as possible. Reason why I'm mentioning this as a push is the local charity group I'm a part of here in the Western New York area, around Buffalo, New York. That is our main charity, is Toys for Tots. There's a lot of families that are always on, they're on hard times. Maybe they can't afford a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, and that's a charity that reaches out and helps those families out. And especially this year, there's a lot of businesses that had to shut down, either for temporary or permanently. I know here in New York State, there's a lot of restaurants that have permanently shut down. There's a lot of businesses that have permanently shut down. And there's a lot of families that could really use that help, and just by streaming something, and they're going to donate. I mean, it's a toy company. I'm sure they can afford to do it, and even they're on hard times. So, I mean, every little bit helps, guys. So, that's all I really have for you guys for this video this time around. So, let me know what you thought of this review. I know it's kind of short, kind of abrupt. I apologize. I didn't do a script. I do these things on the fly. I'm an amateur. What can I say? But are there any figures coming out soon that you want me to do a review of? And obviously, I'm not just about Power Rangers. I got the Spengler one. You can see it's actually already up there. I did a nice little review comparing that with the Spengler one right out of the box, comparing it with my Proton Packs wands, which was basically, it was a wand kit that I got from Carnivorous Creations. And it was a GB Fans electronics setup inside. So I was comparing the two video game modes. So if you want to go into the channel's history, you can pull up that video, check it out. I am going to be doing another video kind of recapping some of the things that are supposed to be happening for the Hasbro PulseCon. That is not a paid advertisement. I'm mentioning this because I think it's something fantastic. It's something positive. We can all use a little bit more positivity, can't we? So, but if there's any figures, any collectibles you think you want me to take a look at, and I'll try and see if I can get my hands on them. And we'll do an unboxing, we'll do a live review. Well, not a live review, but we'll do a review. And you guys will tell me what you think about it. So until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimensions saying keep on busting, and we'll catch you on the flip side.